it's such an honor to meet you. First of all, just as a woman in Hollywood directing movies, I look up to that a lot. So,
Thank you.
please tell us a little bit about your project specifically, because it sheds light on mental health and how you were able to work with this organization specifically.
Well, the movie that I made was a very personal film based on experiences growing up with my father, who had bipolar disorder. And he ended up taking care of my sister and me for a few years on his own, sort of, as my mother was away getting her MBA. And it was an unusual time. We were an unusual family, but it worked, and he was a great father. And I think what they appreciated about my film was that it showed a person struggling honestly with the struggles in an authentic way, but also that this was a very lovable and loving person.
How old were you when you were with your father for all that time when your mom was getting her MBA?
He started taking care of us when I was 10, and then we were living with him until I went away to boarding school when I was 15.
Do you feel as if...
Was it you or that?
Just look at me right here.
Okay.
I know it's probably distracting. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. I have been dying to see your film for many reasons. My mom was like, you have to see it, you have to see it, because I grew up in a very similar situation with a father who went through that. And I had to practice a lot of forgiveness from going through that. And I like you because you talk so candidly, which makes me feel like you're a complete stranger and I can open up to you. But looking back, were there some things that you experienced that actually were really unique to the situation, that you feel like fun adventures or things that maybe, being with your sister, having your dad take on dad duty, there was some silver lining in that?
Well, I actually think there were a lot of silver linings. I mean, there were hard times too, but in some ways the hard things were also silver linings, because I learned how to deal with them and how to forgive and how to understand, or at least to try to do all of those things, which are really important in life. My sister and I were really a team. We became a team because we were in this very unusual situation. So we became very bonded. And my dad, I kind of learned how to, he took care of us, but sometimes we had to take care of him. And so we learned how to do that. So I think it's sort of how the prism of how you look through it. What lessons are you going to take away from it, and how can you move forward in a positive way? I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. It's hard, and there's anger and all these things, but it's sort of like it's the human condition in a big way.
But to have released a movie and see Mark Ruffalo get a Golden Globe nomination to play the role of what your father would have been, now, are you pinching yourself?
Well, it was crazy. Mark Ruffalo did an amazing job, and he channeled my father, because he's such a good person, but he's a complicated man, and he played a complicated man who was a really good person with a really great big heart, so that was very important.
Do you just have any advice for other young people that are going through experiences seeing a parent, specifically a father, deal with mental health issues, how to kind of not fall into maybe feeling like you are like them or you're similar, that you're destined for some of the same falls that they had? What do you have for other people watching that maybe relate to you in your situation?
That's a good question. It's a big question. Because I certainly worried about it myself. Am I going to be like him? I don't want to be. I tried to take.
I'm not asking for other people. I'm asking for myself.
Okay. I tried to take the good things. Honestly, it was interesting, because when I had my own children, I realized how many things I'd learned from my father about how to be a good parent, and there were lots of things I learned from him. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Or I could make a long list of things I didn't want to do, but there was also a list of things I did want to do. So it's about kind of separating those things, because everybody has something to offer, and I do think. I will say, corny as it sounds, I do know a lot of people with bipolar disorder or some kind of mood disorder. They have a unique insight, and it's amazing to hear what they think, and their take on the world is very special. So it's good to be able to pull that out.
I completely agree. And last question, what else are you working on that we can look forward to?
Right now my husband and I, who work together all the time, have just written a movie for Jack Black, and we're about to co-direct it, and he plays a polka singer who runs a Ponzi scheme. It's a true story.
I'll go see that.
It's a fun story, and it's true. Yeah.
I love that. Well, okay, so that's a cool exclusive, or maybe it's already out, but we'll look forward to that coming soon.
Definitely.
Thank
yes.
you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.